Next up here is 07 HW1 distance formula. We're going to do a couple distance formula problems together here. So our first problem we have is 7, 4, that coordinate, and then the other coordinate's 8, 2. We're trying to find the distance between these two coordinates. Now the distance formula, which will always be the same, will be the square root y2 minus y1 squared plus x2 minus x1 squared. And all this is, we just got to plug things in. In our first coordinate, that's our x base 1. Also in our first coordinate is y base 1. The little 1 stands for the first coordinate. X base 2 and y base 2 in the second coordinate. 8 is our x value in our second coordinate, and 2 is our y value in our second coordinate. Now we're just going to plug them into the distance formula. So our distance between the 2 points is square root y2, which is 2, minus y1, which is 4, squared, plus x2, 8, minus 7, squared. Distance, square root, 2 minus 4 gets you a negative 2. So you have negative 2 squared. Notice I keep my parentheses there. 8 minus 7 gets you 1 squared. So D equals negative 2 squared. When you put that in a calculator with the parentheses, you get 4, which is the correct answer, because negative 2 times negative 2 gets you positive 4. Plus 1 squared is 1. So our distance for problem number 1 is square root 5. And that's the answer for number 1. And when you put square root of 5 in the calculator, you're going to get 2.236, ... which is D for problem number 1. And that's the distance formula. Let's do problem number 3. Alright, here's problem number 3. We have 4, negative 6 is our first coordinate. Our second coordinate is negative 5, 1. So, 4, negative 6, let's label them x1, y1, because they're both my x and y in the first coordinate. And the second coordinate's x2 and y2. Now we plug them into our distance formula, which we have over here. y2, which is 1, minus my y1, which is negative 6, squared, plus x2, negative 5, minus x1, which is 4, square that. 1 minus a minus 6, well, 2 negatives make a positive, so that's going to be 7 squared. Notice I still carry down my square roots, showing all my work. Put in the parentheses. Plus, negative 5 minus 4 gets you negative 9 squared. 7 squared gets you 49. Negative 9 inside the parentheses squared gets you 81. 49 plus 81 gets you 120, 130. So you got a square root of 130. When you take the square root of 130, you should get 11.42, which would be B. That's the answer number 3. Next up, we're going to move to answer number 11. Alright, so what's different with problem number 11 is that you have a graph and you have 2 endpoints on the line. So the only additional step that they add to you is that you have to find the 2 coordinates, the 2 endpoints of the line. In this case, in problem number 11, the 2 endpoints are at negative 2, 5, because we counted from the origin 2 to the left, 5 up. And the other endpoint is 5, negative 5. Which means 5 to the right, and then 5 down from the origin. And that's where the other endpoint is. So now we still do the same process, x1, y1, x2, y2. And we plug it into the distance formula.